Patients who need constant oxygen at home or while they sleep are often prescribed home oxygen concentrators. Oxygen concentrators take air from your surroundings, extract oxygen, and filter it into purified oxygen for you to breathe. Oxygen can be drying to your nose, so some patients use a humidifier bottle that can be attached to your home unit to help moisten the oxygen you inhale. If you use a humidifier bottle, start by filling it with distilled water and attach it to the oxygen outlet. Then, plug your home oxygen concentrator into an electrical source. It needs to stay plugged in at all times to work properly. An alarm will sound if it's not plugged in or if there is an abrupt power failure. Next, attach your nasal cannula or face mask and set the rate, which is prescribed to you by your doctor. You will notice the oxygen is prescribed in number of liters per minute. The flow rate, or number of liters per minute, is your prescription. Do not self-adjust your oxygen flow rate without consulting your doctor. You can use a nasal cannula connected with a hose of up to 50 feet around your home. Be careful when you're walking so you do not trip on it. Care for your system by washing your nasal cannula or face mask weekly with a mild dish soap and warm water. Clean them more frequently if you're sick, and let air dry. Be sure not to get water in the tubing and replace it if it is damaged. You can get replacement tubing from your oxygen supplier. Clean your humidifier bottle every 3 days with warm water and mild dish soap. Make sure you rinse out all of the soap with hot water. Then, soak it in a vinegar and water solution for a few minutes to help get rid of any extra bacteria. Dry the bottle with a paper towel and then let it air dry. Clean the machine's filter once a month by removing the filter and dipping it into a clean container filled with water and mild dish soap. Scrub the filter with a washcloth to remove any small pieces of dirt or dust and rinse it under water to remove all soap residues. Then, set the filter on a clean, dry towel and let it air dry completely before putting it back in the machine. A home oxygen concentrator can help you stay healthier and more active in your home. Your doctor might also prescribe a portable oxygen concentrator or oxygen in a metal tank for use outside the home. It might be daunting at first to get started with a new oxygen device, but with practice, you will gain confidence and adjust to life with oxygen therapy. Many people living with a lung disease find that oxygen helps them stay active, sleep better, and have more energy to do the things they like. There are many different types of oxygen devices you can use at home and on the go. The types of oxygen prescribed to you by your doctor are based on how much supplemental or extra oxygen your body needs, when you need the oxygen, for example, if you need it only during sleep, or when you are active, or if you need it all the time, your lifestyle, and your insurance coverage. Each type of oxygen delivery device has a setting or an oxygen flow rate. This is the amount of liters of oxygen flowing per minute. Call your doctor's office if you continue to have questions. Supplemental oxygen is generally very safe. However, there are a few major safety tips to keep in mind. The biggest safety measure is to keep your oxygen away from an open flame or a heat source. Oxygen won't cause a fire on its own, but it supports combustion. That means if it comes into contact with a flame, it could start a very large fire. Keep anything flammable, such as aerosols or petroleum, away from the unit. Don't use anything that could spark, like electric razors. And especially don't smoke or let others smoke near you while operating your oxygen device. And always keep your oxygen unit upright. Metal tanks should always be kept in a carrier. Single tanks not in carriers or in use should be kept lying flat so they do not fall over.
When deciding where to put your new concentrator, make sure you understand it requires unobstructed ventilation. To operate properly, it must be at least 6 inches from a wall and 12 inches from curtains or bedding that may occlude airflow. Do not place the concentrator in a confined space, such as a closet. Do not use extension cords or electrical adapters. You may choose to place your concentrator in a central location to ensure access to more areas of your home. There are different models of oxygen concentrators. They may look different, but essentially operate exactly the same with some minor differences. If your concentrator is black, gray, or tan, it will likely have an external filter made of black foam material. Clean it weekly and replace when necessary. If your concentrator is blue, it will not have an external filter, but simply needs the air intake wiped off weekly with a damp cloth or paper towel. Also note, regardless of which model you receive, they are all on rollers, so you may move it throughout your house with ease. The use of a humidifier is not required and has no effect either way on the amount of oxygen you receive. It simply humidifies the oxygen you are receiving, possibly making it more comfortable if you are experiencing nasal dryness. If your concentrator is blue, you will need an additional tube to connect your humidifier bottle, while other models connect directly. It is recommended you not use a humidifier unless you are experiencing an uncomfortable level of nasal dryness. It can add unnecessary moisture to your lungs and cause issues with condensation in your tubing. If you use a humidifier, be sure to screw the bottle back on your concentrator properly. It is very easy to cross-thread and is the leading cause of receiving inadequate oxygen flow. If you feel like you are not receiving enough oxygen, first check to see if the humidifier bottle is screwed on properly. Also be sure not to overfill your humidifier bottle. It can cause water to spill over into your tubing, causing reduced oxygen flow. It is often inevitable some water may get into your tubing, with a variety of factors such as temperature and location of your tubing playing a part. You may need to use a water trap to help control this so it does not restrict oxygen flow. If so, place the water trap on a short tubing from your concentrator with a longer tubing to your nasal cannula. When necessary, unscrew the end of the water trap and drain it out to minimize disruption in oxygen flow. Our technicians are available 24 hours a day if your oxygen equipment fails. However, there are several common issues you can check which may restore your oxygen service more quickly. First, make sure your unit is plugged directly into an electrical outlet. Do not use extension cords or adapters. Make sure it is in the on position. Make sure your electricity is on. Make sure the liter flow is set to your prescribed setting. If it is at 0 or above the max setting, your concentrator will alarm until it is corrected. Make sure the humidifier bottle is threaded properly on the concentrator and the bottle to the lid. Make sure all tubing connection points are firmly attached. If you feel like you're receiving reduced or no oxygen flow, check all these things first. You may confirm oxygen flow by placing the prongs of your nasal cannula in a cup of water. If it bubbles, there is oxygen flowing from your concentrator. If you have a power outage, your concentrator will alarm until power is restored or you turn your device off. Oxygen safety. Remember, oxygen does not burn, but it does support combustion, meaning it will make things burn much faster. Do not place your oxygen equipment or use it within 10 feet of an open flame or heat source. Keep all flammable substances away from your equipment and yourself while using oxygen. Never use petroleum products near your oxygen. This includes petroleum-based moisturizing products on yourself, such as Vaseline or Carmex. Never attempt to repair your equipment. Never smoke while using oxygen. Your oxygen equipment is very safe to use if you follow these simple guidelines. Please let us know if you have any questions regarding your oxygen use, your oxygen equipment, or need additional supplies.
You may feel a little self-conscious using oxygen at first, but you'll become more comfortable over time. You will quickly see using oxygen will help you feel your best. Soon, it'll become a part of your everyday life.